Well, this isn't my coffee cup today. This is a mug that I'm using to have some hot water in. I used it to connect up the last segment of the fuel line, so the fuel's all plumbed into this heater. Now I need to get the air intake and the exhaust installed. You know, the exhaust can be pretty far away from this heater. Well, it's not terribly far, but this exhaust pipe, which looks like stainless steel to me, can get pretty hot. From what I've read, it looks like it get about 400 degrees, which is hotter than I want it up against this particle board. So what I'll end up doing is I'll get a tube of fire stop that's a sealant to block fire in a home fire, but it will also insulate the penetration through the chipboard. I'll be drilling holes through the chipboard with this step drill. I just need two, one for the inlet and one for the exhaust. Then I'm ready to start wiring it up, so we give it a shot. So I'll get started. I'll have to be careful to make sure that I make these penetrations through the wall where they're not going to run into the fuel tank or some other future plans I have. Now the inlet is closest to the fuel tube, and that's this side right here. So I'm going to install that tube right beside the hanger and up high. Let's check to see how big that hole needs to be. I need to go up until I have the last 3 steps. Now, because this is a step drill, I'm going to go on the outside and drill again from the outside, because it's putting a little bit of a cone shape in the chipboard. The intake hole is cut in the chipboard. I'm going to double check to see where I might be able to put the exhaust. I want to make sure it's not too close to the fuel line, just because I don't want the fuel line to be getting melted. Now, there's plenty of room in this area here for me to mount the exhaust pipe. I'm going to start from the outside because that's where the fuel tube is. And I'm going to make this about the same size as the intake. I want to leave room for that fire stop. That's plenty big enough, but I'll need to move a couple things under here so I can reach from the inside. There are 2 different sizes of hose clamps in this package, 4 of a smaller size and 4 of a larger size. So I'm going to go ahead and use the small ones. There's no instructions in the manual, but common sense tells you that you want to use the one that's just big enough. I just rounded out that connection a little bit just to see if I can make it go on the heater a little bit more easily. Now I think I'm going to have to move these shelves out so I have access. I was hoping not to have to move it. It's a bit of work. I fished this exhaust pipe up through the wall and to the heater itself. All I need to do is put on this hose clamp and snug it down. That's tight. I need to do the same thing on the inlet side. This hole's not quite big enough. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Oh, that hole's not big enough. I'll need to make it a little bit bigger. I accidentally put the hose clamp on too close or too far away from the heater itself. So I'm turning this hose around. I'll try putting this in again, and I'll tighten it up. Change of plans. My driver won't fit up there, so I'm going to get a screwdriver and put it in manually. I have both the intake and the exhaust secured to the heater. The exhaust has been adjusted so there's no low points, either inside or outside. I want to make sure that all the combustion condensation from this heater can flow right out. Now what I need to do is go ahead and install the electronics. The wiring for this is provided by a wiring harness. It's pretty straightforward. I need to go ahead and connect this up. I'll need to drill a hole, again, another hole, through my chipboard wall for the greenhouse. That's to allow this connector that goes to the fuel pump to go through the wall. This connector makes a snapping sound when you get it in position. Oops, I put the wrong one through. I'll just pull this one back out. The nice thing about this heater is that the connectors are different. This goes to the control head, and this goes to the fuel pump. Well, the wiring harness is all connected. It's connected to the heater, outside to the fuel pump, and to the remote control head right here. I just need to connect this to power. I'll do that after lunch and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing and why. Well, it's a bit of a mess here, but I'm ready to go ahead and hook this up to the battery. Now, why am I using a battery? It's very simple. I have AC power to the greenhouse, but when we're gone for some time, I want to make sure that this heater can run if it's necessary. So this is a backup to a backup. I've temporarily hooked the heater up to the battery I have down here. Well, another situation where these instructions don't pertain to the heater that we have, it says that I'm supposed to turn a knob to fill the fuel line. So I'm going to go look to see if there's another way to fill the fuel line. Boy, am I disappointed. These instructions have absolutely nothing to do with this controller. It's all wired up, ready to go. I'm going to have to go study this manual and talk to Irene, and we'll go through it some more and see if we can figure out what's really going on. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, because we're going to be doing this one more day. Don't forget to brainstorm. We have to.